Live video. Hey, Facebook. It's Sunday night. You know what that means? It's time for another episode of Class Act. Thanks for showing up. We appreciate you guys watching. Today I'm joined with a buddy of mine, Neil Schillig of Schillig Real Estate Group. Tammy's here, Neil. You see that?
Hey, Tammy.
Hey, Tammy. What's going on? Anyway, we're here to talk to you about how to be inspired today. And I brought this guy because he's on my wall of gratitude and he inspires me. So I know he's going to inspire you. I just want to start off by saying, what inspires you, man?
Well, there's a lot of things that inspire me. We could go on all night about things that inspire me. But let's take it one step back. Let's talk about how we started this whole journey.
That's a funny story, actually. Okay, guys. So me and Tammy, we got Harleys, and Neil and his wife Bonnie, they got Harleys. Well, me and Tammy were on a ride. We stopped at this little place called the Shade Tree Saloon for a Coke, and there was really nowhere to sit down except for this big picnic table out there where Bonnie and Neil were hanging out. So, kind of give you an idea of what that looked like. I show up like this. Hey, you guys mind if we sit here with y'all for a minute? And he says,
Well, you're out of your mind.
you're out of your mind, because I got my brain hanging out. So anyway, guys, you know what? I've been picking my brain on this be inspired idea. So I figured we'd talk about what inspires you. And one of the things that inspires me the most really is seeing somebody that's having to go through some adversity in life. I mean, you see a guy like a wounded warrior. I saw a video on Facebook the other day of this wounded warrior. He's a four-limb amputee, and he's on the stage telling jokes, and he's using his situation to make an outstanding life for himself and his family. He never quit. He never gave up. And what do you got anything like that you?
Oh, I can't compete with that. There's no way. That guy's got more inspiration than any of us. To be able to do that and get through his life like he's done, no, I'm not going to compete with that ever. But I have little pieces of my life that have things that help me motivate through life, work, relationships, spiritual life, and different things. And all I can say is that you have to be inspired by one of two different things. You know, you can be inspired by fear or faith. And you really can't have both. You need to focus on one side or the other. And I don't like being inspired by fear. You know, if you're inspired by fear, when that wasp flies into the car, she's going to jump out of the car.
That's a good idea, though.
Well,
Let's just hope we don't get stung by a wasp out here in my backyard.
we're not going to have...
So hey,
I
Tyler,
don't like that. So,
Tyler's on board.
what's up, buddy? But no, you know, there's a lot of things different in my life. There's work inspiration, there's spiritual inspiration, and there's, you know, relationship, life, and family inspiration. There's inspiration from family, my wife, my parents. And there's inspiration from work, from people that are around me, you know, different colleagues, different leaders in our office. And then there's spiritual guidance as well. So, you know, it could start back to when I was in, you know, high school, when I was working with the juniors in our school. You know, I gotta say this. I just noticed this. You know, this is live.
Yeah.
We make mistakes in life, right?
Yeah.
We made mistakes tonight too.
If you're gonna make mistakes, you're gonna make them on live.
We didn't even plug in the mics.
They're not plugged in.
Dang it! But
they're
you can
here,
still
they
hear
look
us though,
good.
right? Right? You can hear us out there?
You can hear
You
us, Tyler.
Tell us you can hear us. You can hear us, right?
Yeah, you can hear us. We don't even need these stupid mics.
Oh man.
But they
All
look good.
Absolutely. Good job. Hey, you know what? We can make fun of ourselves as well. It's okay. No, but no,
I'm
take it back.
inspired by you, man. I'm inspired.
We have a good time doing this, and so no, you know, I was inspired a long time ago by being able to work with juniors and inspire them spiritually, help them get through the guidance in their life. And you know, I saw other leaders in the church group and was able to take what I found from them and then pass it along. And so I helped that, and I saw them do that, and I wanted to pass it along. So I was inspired by the people in my church group and was able to then help other people learn what I learned. So, you can find inspiration in different ways. And what I do with some of the people that are in my work life is the one thing I ask every time I sit down with a new agent or a new person that's starting off and what they want to achieve in their life, there's one question I ask them. And it's the same thing that I was asked when I was in the office with Steve Collins one day, who's one of our leaders in our office, inspirational guy, who is in fact one of my inspirations in work. He asked me, why? What's your big why? And why are you doing this? And what motivates you? And what inspires you to be doing what you're doing in life? And so I took that why and I really thought about it for a long time. And, I came up with a lot of different answers. I don't know that we have enough time tonight to go through all that, but yeah.
Well, no, I get the idea. I'm going to talk to you about you for a minute. I mean, the reason you're sitting here and the reason you got a spot on my wall of gratitude is because, you have this thing where you're an extra miler, right? You go the extra mile. So I've had other real estate agents. I mean, I've had 5 or 6 houses in my life, and you seem to have a real estate agent when you buy one and when you sell one. And so I've probably gone through, 12 agents, I guess, at least, before I met you. And what I noticed about you is that Ziegler calls it BAM. The whole BAM principle is all about going the extra step, right? And so that's what inspired me about you. I mean, I'll give you an example. We went and looked at a property. You had all your ducks in a row. To the tune of he had all these comps on what I would be able to rent it out for. So not only was he trying to find me a good deal on a house, but he wanted to make sure that I was going to have the rent that I was looking for on the investment property that I was trying to find. And he'd already done the comps ahead of time. And I can tell you, before we even closed on it, he had a renter in there for me. So it's just those types of things that you don't really expect. From a real estate agent, you expect them to just kind of show you some houses and close the deal. You brought to the table this wealth of information and knowledge, and you brought that BAM, block in a mailbox philosophy to the table, and that really inspired me.
Block in a mailbox.
Yeah. So, anyway, who inspires you?
Oh my gosh, who inspires me? Well, if I think back in my personal life, who inspires me the most, I would have to say my parents inspired me the most in a lot of different ways to become the person I am today. My father was a big influencer in my life. My mother was too. They have really instilled. What?
You might want to talk about her since I'm my time.
Who? Oh, and look at the camera.
Hey, can you guys hear us? Jocelyn's watching, Cheryl's watching. Can you guys hear us okay?
My family, my parents, my mother and my father both. Dad was a big influencer in my life as far as things to do. My mother brought in a lot of the family aspect of it because she's all about family, and I'm a family guy. I like family. But if I think about who inspires me the most,
your wife's here. You better, dude. I'm just telling you right
she
now.
is probably the most
Way
influential person
to
in my life.
go.
And it has nothing to do that she's sitting
Thank
right
you,
there,
John.
I promise. However, this is life. I'm not just making this up. It really is the truth. She is a strong individual. She's a motivated individual. She motivates me. She inspires me daily because she supports me. Because behind every guy, whether it's you, whether it's me, whether it's any of you watching, all of you, we've all got somebody behind us that makes us a better person. Right now, it's Harley.
Harley's behind us. Hey, what an inspiration, right? Look behind us. Check it out. It's a beautiful day in South Texas. It's a little warm, but
I really rely on her for a number of different things.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's why you guys get along so
Not just the fact that she's the best person I could imagine you married to, but she inspires me to keep pushing for more, not only in work, but also with my family.
Nice. So many of you guys probably saw this week, I put together this wall of gratitude. I put a wall, a bunch of people on my wall, pictures of people that were influential to me and who have inspired me along the way. And I mean, I know I can just talk to a couple of those because I know we don't got all day to do this, but
You can take all day if you want to.
I'll talk about my wife now. I mean, my wife is an inspiration to me because she has something that I just don't have, and that is patience. That is patience. So God said, hey, I need you to wait on patience, and I got tired of waiting. So anyway, she's a huge influencer for me in the area of patience and being able to just kind of look at things from a totally different perspective. You know, we complement each other that way. But you know, I could talk about my mom and her work ethic. You know, she had just an immense work ethic that she was able to pass along to me. You know, I met a guy early in my career named Bruce Hammond. He's on the wall of gratitude because he introduced me to Jesus, and he was like Jesus. Now he'd probably laugh if he was listening to this right now, but he was like Jesus in a way that when I went to work for him, my wife was pregnant, and when we had Tyler, basically she was in the hospital from having Tyler. He needed to have open heart surgery when he was born, and I actually happened to have a broken leg playing hacky sack at a Motley Crue concert the weekend before that. So we were all in different hospitals at the same time, but that's not why Bruce is so cool. Why Bruce is so cool is that I had only worked there for 6 months, and he let me take 2 months off of my job with pay so I could get my kid right and my family back in order. And that's just the heart of Christ right there. And he inspired me to accept Jesus in and around that same time frame, and that really changed my life. I mean, then he sold his company to DHS, and I worked for a guy named Mark Foley. Mark Foley introduced me to personal development, so I started listening to Zig Ziglar tapes and reading books and trying to make myself a better person, because this guy was my boss, and he was feeding all the sales team that stuff, but there was only a couple people. That's what's weird. You know, we can feed you guys the information. There's only a couple people that it may actually resonate with, or they're in a place in their life right now where they can implement it, put it to practice, and get great results. I think everybody should try to do something to better themselves, but sometimes a message just comes at the right time. You know what I mean?
Some people don't even realize that they can save these videos, save any videos on Facebook Live videos, and you can go back and watch them later.
What are you trying to say? We shouldn't do it live because we made all these mistakes?
No, these people can actually watch these things later in life and go back, and then it may inspire them more later
than it
does right now.
Well, hit the replay, guys. Hit the replay if you missed it live, and check it out on the replay. But so all these things, you know, all these people that inspire us, they have these qualities, right? And I mean, they're qualities that I think God gives all of us when we're born. I mean, it's qualities like integrity, honesty, loyalty, being respectful, being responsible, being humble.
Courage.
Yeah, having a forgiving heart. You know, I mean, Michael Norton, another
kindness is huge.
Yeah, Michael Norton, another guy on my wall of gratitude. Love and forgiveness is this guy's go-to phrase. I mean, he is the most forgiving guy. Generosity, perseverance, reliability, optimism. These are qualities that we all aspire to, right? Love. The biggest one is love, right? Yeah, for sure. We all need to be loving each other, man. I see all this stuff on Facebook about left and right and who's right and who's wrong. And it's saddening almost because it's really divisive. But if everybody would just get back to loving each other, I think that the world would be a much better place, man. So,
you know who's the worst about that? Guys don't tell each other they love each other.
No, it's bad. It's bad. But guys should be telling each other that they love each other. It's a big deal, you know. We need to know that we have accountability partners out there, and that we have people in our lives that are there to support us. Hey, Matt, thanks for coming back. Dirk is watching. Dirk Diggler. Good to see you, Dirk. Hey, so check this out. How can you develop the qualities we just mentioned in yourself and in the people that are working for you, so that you can get more out of those people, get more inspiration out of those people to do something for themselves? You know, go ahead.
Two ways. The two ways that come right to mind right off the bat. I think there's two things in life that we need to do to hold ourselves accountable. have an accountability group,
Yeah.
whether that's one person or a group of 10 people, and have a spiritual group.
Yeah.
Both. Because both of those two things, if you have an accountability group, whether it's spiritual or work or relationship accountability groups, your wife will hold you accountable. I'll hold her accountable. That's what we do. So we have an accountability partner in life. But you need that in work, you need that in relationships, you need that in everything. And I think if you have those two things, it'll help you, help us, help you grow.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, here's the formula for growth, guys. And Tom Ziglar talked about this week. Growth equals higher standards and deeper grace. That's how you get your growth, right? You got higher standards and deeper grace. And I got to tell you, a couple weeks ago in my 1 year daily insights group, and I mentioned this last week. If you want to be a part of that group, I got a page. It's based off of a daily devotional that Zig Ziglar put out called 1 Year Daily Insights. A couple weeks ago, there was scripture, John 8, 5 through 11. If you read that scripture, it tells you a story about a woman who committed adultery. And all these guys wanted to stone her, right? Because they were living under the law of Moses at the time. Jesus is there, and he kind of stoops down and he starts writing something with his finger in the sand. Nobody really knows what he was writing, but he kind of looks up at the guys and says, well, whoever of you is without sin, be the first one to throw the stone, you know? And so they all start kind of leaving, and the lady that committed adultery gets up and he says, so who's condemning you now? And she looks around, nobody's there. And he says, go and sin no more. So the reason I tell this story, guys, is go and sin no more is about the highest standard you can possibly have, right? Go and sin no more. He told her that because he knows that she'll be able to grow spiritually if she's got a high target like that. The other part of that growth is the deep grace, the amazing grace that Jesus gave her, and the forgiveness that he gives all of us should be enough inspiration in ourselves to help us want to become better people and better employees, and to help people out. You know, Zig Ziglar used to say that you can have everything in life that you want if you just help enough other people get what they want. And I really believe that.
True. Absolutely true. Dude, love you.
Love you too, man. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Next week we're going to talk about talking to yourself. What are you saying to yourself? You might be thinking, I don't talk to myself. We all talk to ourselves. The most important conversation you can have is a conversation that you have with yourself. If I get out of my... Anyway,
keep pumping.
Hey, like Zig said, you guys are winners. I think you're all winners. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Matt, for the thumbs up.
Hey, dude, thank you for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for coming, man. Thanks for inspiring me, too.
Great time.
I'm not going to see you at the top. I'm going to see you over the top. I'm going to see you next week. Thanks for tuning in, guys.